We have some insane updates regarding the Oklahoma City Thunder with some of their players, such as Alex Caruso and Will Williams. Not Dub. Dub's fine. Nothing's going on there. But Jaylin Williams, J Will, the center, 6'9" from Arkansas. If you guys remember him, I know it's been a minute since he's been on the court. He is officially back. He is off the injured list now. He's going to be playing against the Wizards tomorrow, which we desperately needed. Some of these games that we've lost or have been, in tight contests with is because we don't have a backup center. J Will provides just that. Not to mention now some other breaking news that we have. Alex Caruso, he has signed his extension, and this could spell a lot of things that the Thunder are going to be trying to do here the next few weeks before the trade deadline approaches, as we'll cover the entirety of the deal, if I think it was deserved, and what this kind of means for some other players on the team, the Thunder's plans going forward in the future. Along with J Will, what does it mean now that he's back? What exactly is he bringing to the table now that he's no longer injured? Is going to be able to play for the Thunder against the Wizards. Before we get all that, though, just a quick moment to recognize if you guys enjoy what we're putting out here, or if you're new to the channel and you like what you've seen so far and you want to support the channel but you don't know how, the best way to do so is just by hitting that subscribe button. With that out of the way, we'll go ahead, dive into all the details that we know, as this is one of the best days that you could have had if you're an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. It truly is. Everything that has happened with this team today, all the, I say like good rumors surrounding the team with like guys like Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, all these guys. Now with Alex Caruso signing this extension, J Will now being back. We're 6 weeks since Chet got injured, so we should be getting some more news regarding him in like 2 to 3 weeks. It's just, a bunch of good things are happening for the Thunder right now. And there are a lot of things that we could definitely be talking about that we're trying, we're going to go ahead and try to cover here in this video. So first, with Alex Caruso, if you guys missed it, all right, he has signed a 4-year, $81 million contract extension with the Thunder. This has, I think this makes him locked up with OKC until 2028, 2029. And that season right there would be his last season on this deal. And I think every bit of it is well-deserved. I understand people saw 20 million. That's what I was seeing on Twitter a bunch there. People saw 20 million talk about like, oh my gosh, it's such an overpay win. I don't necessarily think so. All right. I don't think it's necessarily an overpay when you look at how contracts have drastically been increasing each and every single year. This deal 5 to 10 years ago would have been anywhere from like 8 to 11 million. All right. Let's be honest about that. And it's only taken up like 13% of the tax, of the cap space. That's all it's doing. When you look at the stats as well, I think it's very well, I think it's, well deserved. Just looking at the stats, I think he's deserved every minute of it. We're going to stay away from the offensive stats, as that's not what he's really meant, that's not what he was brought to do here at Oklahoma City. And he also had a rough start to the year. Okay. He's averaging 5.7 points per game. I'm not going to deny that. All right. Could be doing better offensively. I'm not saying we're just going to completely ignore it. He could be doing better, but that's not his main factor being here. His main factor is defense. That's what he's here to do. And as a bench player, he's averaging 2 steals a game. Absolutely absurd to me. He's not turning it over either under a turnover game, half a block a game as well. He's also averaging 3 rebounds right there, 2 assists a game. Then shooting wise, he's been picking it up quite a bit these past few games. He started off really slow, could not hit a single shot to save his life. He was shooting like 20% from 3. 10 to 15 games in. Now, all of a sudden, he's jumping it up now. He's jumped up to 27% from behind the three-point line, 38% from the field. He is on an older side, so we would have him when he was, until he's like 35. So that is a little concerning looking at, like, is he still going to be this top-tier defender at age 35? I think he will, still be a really great player for us from, at age 33, 34 even. And maybe that last year of the deal, we try to ship him away, trade him off somewhere, but just looking at all these stats I have up here for you guys right now, 35% on corner threes, 94% of his threes are assisted, and, more than half his shots are threes. I think, this contract was, well-deserved. No doubt about that in my mind. I think he deserved every single bit of this contract, no doubt about it. He's a great player, and I think he fits into everything that Oklahoma City is trying to do going forward when they're, trying to build this eventual dynasty that they have going on. I think this is the start of that season. The start of Oklahoma City dynasty begins with this Caruso extension. Now I think this is also going to open up a lot of pass for trades, not involving Caruso, not involving him at all, but rather seeing guys like maybe now Wiggins is involved in trades. I think Kenrich Williams and Usman Jang are for sure going to be on the trade market now. They're going to be on the market and potentially going after a guy like Cam Johnson that we mentioned yesterday, or even Dorian Finney-Smith, which I think is a cheaper contract and fits in just as well as Cam Johnson. Johnson's just, a starter. He's a starting four for us, moves Hartenstein to the bench for sure, and gives us, a true 7-footer off the bench. That way we can have a 7-footer on the court at all times. That helps out a ton. Just Dorian Finney-Smith, I don't think he'd be a starter for us, but I do think he'd come off the bench and provide valuable minutes for us as a three-point shooter. A little bit of an upgrade from Kenrich Williams, in my opinion, is what I see from Dorian Finney-Smith. So if we can do that, 100% go after either one of them. I've seen guys like Jordan Clarkson get thrown around that I don't really agree with. Colin Sexton, even Larry Nance Jr. is someone that I've heard about that's on the table. Atlanta's in a weird position where I don't know if they're trying to compete or they're trying to, lay back a little bit and keep on developing, where they might ship off a Larry Nance Jr. type of player. It's just interesting. But now we have someone back, I don't think we need a Larry Nance Jr. because we're kind of getting someone that I'd rather have than Larry Nance Jr. and Jay Will, as he is officially back. And off the injury report, he'll be playing against the Washington Wizards tomorrow. And I think this is a perfect game for him to try to come back into and see where he's at physically and at a basketball standpoint. The Wizards are not a great team whatsoever. We should be blowing them out tomorrow. And I think this is when we'll see Jaylin Williams potentially get like 15 minutes that game. I think that'd be a great test to see, okay, where's he at right now? Has he improved at anything? We know he's been out for a little bit. Let's see his first action back, see if he, looks like he's missing a step at all due to that fact. I think that's going to tell a lot this game right here for him. It's going to be fun to watch, all right? And Jaylin Williams last year, he was a great player for the Thunder. He was one of the unsung heroes. I've dubbed him as like the charge king. That's what he does really well. He knows how to take charges, which you kind of need someone like that on all teams. Being realistic, you need someone that's willing to take the contact, that's willing to take charges and, make other, players draw offensive fouls. We need those for guys that like to drive a ton in the league, that will potentially be playing against, get them into foul trouble. That'll help us out a ton. Also gives us some backup center depth now with him back when Isaiah Hartenstein needs to sub out due to fatigue or foul trouble. Allows us to put J. Will in there for the next, 4 to 5 minutes, kind of hold down the fort and even give us a spark on offense if we need to, as he is a great pick and pop option. He shoots the three ball very well that I feel like people often forget about. He is a great three-point shooter for his size, 6'10", 250 pounds or so. He is going to be dynamic for this squad, no doubt about it in my mind, offensively and defensively. He's not this, well-known rim protector by any means, but he has size and he's willing to take charges, which can really help out this team down the long run. So having him back is huge right there. The way he plays in these next 10 to 15 games, I think really tells a lot. You really just this, December 22nd stretch through like January 10th. I feel like that stretch of games is going to tell a lot, seeing how Jay Will plays, other guys like Aaron Wiggins and Kenrich Williams. Those kind of guys, see how they play, might spell, okay, this is what we want to do going forward. Let's trade for someone that is, more size, Larry Nance Jr. type of guy if Jay Will isn't playing as well and can't compete with some of these bigger bodies down low. If Aaron Wiggins isn't picking it up, maybe package him with like Ousmane Dieng, go get a Cam Johnson type of guy, or even just a straight up swap with Dorian Finney-Smith. There's a lot of options that we could be doing. If Kenrich Williams doesn't pick it up, he was off to a hot start. If he keeps on slowing down and regressing like he has been these past few games, it might, spell the doom for him of like, okay, a Kenrich Williams, Ousmane Dieng, Dylan Jones package for Cam Johnson. That might be something on the table. Those three guys, it's just going to, whatever they do in this next like 2 to 3 week stretch of games, is going to determine what I feel like OKC is going to do now. And we're all just kind of waiting on that Caruso extension to see what the plan was. And now I feel like the plan has opened up a little bit now. All right. See what these next 2 to 3 weeks are like when we have some really tough games. Okay. And then if they're playing to standards and everything, great. We'll keep this team. All right. If not, if someone's playing down and they haven't really progressed at all, people I'm keeping my eyes on, like I mentioned, Aaron Wiggins and Kenrich Williams, maybe we trade them away and go get a guy like Cameron Johnson or Dorian Finney-Smith, maybe even Larry Nance Jr. It's just going to be interesting to see. A lot of good news that we received today that kind of opens up a lot more possibilities for the Thunder and makes things a little bit more clear of what fans are probably thinking is going to happen, which probably will. Being honest, I think we're going to make a trade for a Dorian Finney-Smith or Cam Johnson. I feel like that's inevitable and is going to happen here in the next few weeks. So keep your eyes out on those trade rumors popping around all over social media. That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys personally think about the Caruso extension. Too much, too little? or just right, the Goldilocks and the Three Bears situation there? And with J Will being back, do you guys think this affects anything at all for the rotation? And if we're going to actually win some games that, by a decent margin that are going to be close, such as Boston, Cleveland, New York, those kind of teams? Let me know what you guys personally think in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next video.